Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is 9 o'clock here on Monday night, June the 1st, time for the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock. And I'm glad you're here. Looks like we've got some great weather on the way this week, so it's not going to be a lengthy weather show tonight. And of course, we've got out and about to show you here too. So we'll have a little fun. And of course, I'm looking at your questions and comments over on the 14 News Facebook page. So if you want to vent or do anything over there, you certainly can, and I'll be glad to oblige. We have clearing skies out there now. It really cleared out pretty quickly today afternoon, and then we had a few isolated showers that fired in southern Illinois. We'll see if those are still going here on the radar in a moment. Looks like all of our rain chances are pushed back now to next weekend. And yeah, there's still just a little bitty shower here by Golden Gate, Illinois, and another one here out between Carmi, that'd be about Crossville, Phillipstown, right in that area. Really light rain, not much to it. And those will just kind of fade away here through the evening. Those showers were a little more to look at a couple hours ago, but with the sun going down now, not a lot of energy to be had in the atmosphere to support rain or thunder showers. The cloud cover will dissipate overnight. That leaves us with a northeast breeze and lower humidity on Tuesday, and really some prime early summer weather out there, as temperatures will only climb to about 82 or so, and we'll get into the 60s, low 60s at night. So when we have that bigger spread in the temperature, that tells you it won't be quite as muggy at night. Good sleeping weather, in other words. By Thursday into Friday, here comes our southerly wind, and with it, the atmosphere will juice up again, and that will basically set the stage for some scattered showers and storms over the weekend. Around the area now, we have mid-70s, pretty much anywhere you want to look, including our 76 here at the station. We were down to 61 this morning. Nice, cool morning out there. Excuse me. And then we got up to 82 during the afternoon. Our temperature slightly warmer than it was yesterday at this time. Of course, it warmed up more today. And our degrees from normal this morning, we were about a degree below normal, and we were right on the money today with that 82-degree high. Looking back at May, we started on a cool note. In fact, that first week, if you recall, we had some days like Saturday there, May the 2nd, Derby Day, only up to 58, and then the following week, we were all over the place. We had 81 day and then low 60s, and we still had a few colder days sprinkled in. Despite that, we were able to generate at least a little more rain this month. Our rainiest week was a couple back when we had that inch in 1800s. That would have been 2 weeks ago today. And looking at the stats here for the month of May, again, we're about 1.5 inches below where we should be for rainfall, and nearly 6 3/4 inches below normal for the season. The drought, at least temporarily, abated somewhat by that rain that we had a couple weeks ago. But if we don't continue to replenish the rainfall out there, we'll drop back into drought conditions across the tri-state. On the big map right now, we have basically clear skies here across the Ohio River Valley. I was in touch with Michael Fecka today. He, of course, is on his way out to Portland, where he took a new job. If you didn't see all the postings and announcement there, Michael Fecka, his last night was last night, and he told me he was in Kansas City, which is right here. So naturally, being a weather guy, he's going to drive right through some storms tomorrow on his way out there to Portland, Oregon, for his new job as a meteorologist there. We have a weakening, basically a decaying or dying stationary front to our southwest. And that was really the focusing mechanism for some showers and storms today in Arkansas. With that high pressure now dropping back down out of the Great Lakes, kind of like that one did last week, we will stay clear. It'll basically fend off all the moisture and everything. But at the same time, when it gets down here far enough to the southeast, it'll turn everything back on us, and it will become humid and warmer again then by the weekend. Not a lot warmer. In fact, you know, we haven't hit 90 yet. Typically we do that by the 1st of June. and that is the average date or the median date for the first 90 degrees. We will get close, 87 there on Friday, and again Monday. Some thunderstorms along the way. We don't see any strong signals right now for any really exotic weather, no severe weather. That's not to say we won't have any, it's just there's not a sign for it right now in the models by the weekend. Leading up to that, we see more clouds arriving Friday and then some showers, thunderstorms Saturday morning into the afternoon, and again Saturday night, early Sunday, and possibly bleeding over into Monday as well. And that, again, is the GFS model. I'll show you the European is a lot different in its resolution of what may come our way. Not a particularly rainy forecast over the next week, maybe 1.25 inches if you combine all the possible rainfall, and we get all of it. That's always the big if. The European, well, I didn't put a pause point in there, but it basically centers all of our rain at the end of the weekend on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I believe it was, let's see, I can't remember. I looked at it here a little while ago. Yeah, I knew it was less. I didn't know how much less. About almost half the amount of rain forecast. Whether we get any of that rain is always a point of question, especially this early in the forecast cycle. But short term, we're in good shape. 62 tonight, 81 tomorrow. You gardeners should be thrilled. We've had seemingly the right amount of rain and temperatures out there to make things thrive. And we stay dry through Friday, and then the rain opens up over the weekend with some scattered showers and thunderstorms possible each day. On the temperature outlook, we see warmer than normal through this week and the first part of next, and rainfall probably normal or slightly below again through the end of this week and next. This is Cece, our pet pick for tonight. And while I'm getting a chair over here because I need to load in our Out and About feature, I think I forgot to do that last week. I didn't forget, I just ran out of time. I've been trying to catch up on correspondence and other things and looked up, and it was 5 till 9, so I had to kind of fly over here and get on the air here with the streaming show. All right, let me get our thing here, and then I'll answer your questions. Hope you're having a good day. I'm very much driven by what the weather is like. And when we have a pretty day like this, it always puts me in a much better frame of mind, regardless of what comes down the pike. Well, let's see here. Oh, don't you love this? I am striking out. All right, there we go. Now we got it. Okay, once I get this thing put in here, then we'll take your questions. All right. So now, with that being said, I better look at your questions. All right. I'll get it here. Anybody got a joke or riddle you'd like to share? Ah, there we are. All right. So that's good. We're on Facebook again tonight. We've had our times with Facebook. Okay. And let's see. Watching from Dawson Springs, Laura Gray, thank you. William Raleigh, 800s. That's what we had here at the station. Our rain gauges must be talking to each other. I only had 400s at my house. I thought we would get more, and I just lived like a mile that way west. Brian Steen, happy birthday. Well, thank you. Yeah. Kind of wild, isn't it? 62. Not 1962, 62 years old, 1960. I almost put on the header here for the show, how it'll say First Alert Weather Show at 9. I put 6164. So used to filling out my birth date. Jean Birch, happy birthday. Well, thank you. Cheyenne Hammonds, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't think anybody knew. They made a big stink about it somewhere. And Facebook, it always puts that stuff out there. Let's see. Chris Compton, any news station can't predict weather down the day. I know what you say, predict hour. Never anything further in advance. I'd like to know why. Used to not be like that. Chris Compton, well, actually, it's always kind of been like that. Forecasting long range, and we're talking more than 3 days out. has always been a challenge and virtually impossible, when television started in the 50s. But even here, you have Marcia Yaki for all those years, and she's kind of grown into a mythical creature, that she could forecast months in advance. But the fact is, and she would be the first to tell you, the first 48 hours are really where you have the best skill at forecasting, because you can look at the map and kind of tell what's coming in. What the models have done is they are able, some of the time, as you point out, to identify trends or features on the map, which would then later evolve into storms or dry weather, hurricane, whatever it is. The problem is, and I've mentioned this before, with longer range forecasting and modeling in particular, even with AI and all the things that we have, the initial data that goes into the model, the initialization, or what's happening right now, if there's any discrepancy or poor observations or not enough observations, the model will extrapolate or interpolate between 2 points. And so it introduces errors into the initialization, which then can grow over time. Because each time the model works, it's looking at the hour or 3 hours before it and then extrapolating out. And so you get these small errors in the beginning, a degree or two or whatever it is, but by day 10, they're tremendous errors. There are equations within the model that should dampen that out. One is that, like the GFS that I showed you, reverts back to climatology. In other words, if it's usually 80 this time of the year for the high and 60 for the low, which it is, the model will eventually, you let it run long, it'll come back to climatology. And the climo is weighted more down the line because that's typically what happens. So models aren't really skillful at identifying something that's really off the rails from normal. Or if they do show a sign that's really, something out of the ordinary, it bears watching. But yeah, that 6-7 days out and beyond is always a crapshoot or roll the dice at this stage. And there have been some things that have happened in the last year that we believe have weakened model performance. One is the elimination of several sites where they put up weather balloons that take atmospheric readings going through the atmosphere, right? So you would know, for example, the actual, what the wind was at 500 millibars or what have you. And as part of the Department of Government Efficiency or whatever it was, they eliminated some of these weather balloon launches. And so that's difficult then, you're not getting as much quality data in. Also, budget cuts and the like in the National Weather Service, in NOAA, there's a limited amount now of money going into the science of the models and everything else that, it's an ongoing thing. They didn't just make a model in 1994 and let it run. I mean, these things are constantly tweaked and refined, and we call that parameterization, right? Where it looks at different parts of the country, what's growing on the ground here, is there snow on the ground in the winter, and then that is integrated into the equations. And if you don't have scientists to do that and to look at what's happening, then yeah, the model is not going to be as skillful as it once was. And AI is being used in some applications for forecasting. Sometimes I show you the what we call the machine learning prediction for severe weather. That has been pretty skillful. It misses just like all the other models do, but it has been a little bit better, at least this last couple of seasons, at highlighting areas that would likely see severe weather. So I guess that very long-winded answer is just to say that yes, there is definite uncertainty out beyond days 3 and farther down the line, and there always has been. At least now we have somewhat of an inkling of what might happen versus, say, 10, 20 years ago, when it truly was just a, kind of a wild guess and a reverting to climatological data. I can't talk much more. Jeff Turner, Arden told you today. Oh, that's right. Okay, let's see. William Raleigh, is there any way I can show forecasts for the Dominican Republic? His friend is flying down there for some missionary work. Okay. Yes, I can do that. Let's see. I can show you what it's doing in the Dominican Republic right now. I can't get my forecast model in here because I'm already in a show, so I can't edit it now that I've already told it I'm going on the air with it. That's a cop-out, isn't it? But it's true. But tomorrow, if I remember it, I will stick something in there. What I would do is just look at we'll look at the satellite and radar data and go down there and take a look. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you get down into the Dominican Republic and Haiti, we don't have radar coverage there. They're not part of the radar network here in the United States. The nearest radar would be Puerto Rico, and that's not going to be of any use. But we can look at clouds, and we can see if we have any tropical systems and the like. So you just watch up there here. You know, this is serious. If I put my glasses on, it's serious. That means I actually have to look at something here. So first off, just a quick geography lesson here. Hopefully we can get that. All right, so can you see that? Yeah, that's up high now. There's San Juan, territory of the United States, so we have a radar there at San Juan in Puerto Rico. And then the Dominican Republic is this one, and Haiti is that one. And as we get a little closer here, now what I'm going to do is we will put the satellite pic in, and then we'll check out the Caribbean. Temperature-wise, I would say probably 80s or 90s this time of the year. Okay, so we are seeing some cloud cover there, but that's 12 hours worth. We can go back 24. Now let's go back 48. We're full service. Well, that's interesting. So you can see some thunderstorms that develop. Now again, this is back in time, and you can also tell by the prevailing winds there, the way that the clouds are flowing. Your winds are coming from the northwest there. Okay, and then the bigger picture, so now we're going to look at just the Caribbean, and I want to put so we're down here now, right? This is Jamaica over here, and of course Cuba, and the Bahamas there to the north. If we look at, let's try this. This is like Monday night at the Improv here. So I want to give you a tropical satellite, and what happens is actually I think I'm on that. Let's try the tropical. Okay, and that's a little bit bigger. Sometimes we use a full disk satellite. But right now, it's clear in the Caribbean, so I wouldn't think any weather worries down there, from a tropical system in the immediate future. And if we look way over here, this is off the coast of Africa and across the intertropical convergence zone, we don't have anything going there. So I think we are probably in good shape, or your buddy is in good shape. Sam, I think it is. It's going down there. Let's see. And I think that got it. Let me see if you have another question here. Or if I put everybody to sleep. Am I working Saturday? No, I'm working Sunday, though. Did Michael? No, Michael came to us from Bangor, Maine. He had exactly one tornado warning in his whole time. In Bangor. One tornado warning. And it was only like a 30-minute warning. Never done wall-to-wall coverage. Well, Michael really was a star player when he came here without that experience, and yet he took it home right away. Checking one other thing here on my computer, and then we'll get you to the other thing here. All right. Lenny Howard is on there. Happy birthday to the goat. I feel like a goat. I know what you mean, but I'm one of the old goats. And 62 anymore really isn't that old, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel, well, it depends. You talk to my feet. You ever had that where your feet hurt? You get up and it's like, there's some fancy name. It's plantar or something or other. Yeah, you kind of tippy toe. You know, you get up in the night and you're like, oh, do I really want to get up? Okay, let's look at a thing here. This is an out and about piece that I did on the International Revolving Door Company, and they were building a revolving door, obviously, for a renovation of the Flatiron Building in New York City. And I'll just let you watch here. It was a lot of fun to do this, and you might learn something. I'm Jeff Lyons, out and about today at the International Revolving Door Company in Evansville with the general manager of the plant, Josh Kratochvil. What an entry there, right through a revolving door. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good. What do you do here at your company?
We build revolving doors and ship them all over the country. Some of the highest end buildings in real estate in the world. Yeah, so we've done like 575 Madison Avenue. We have doors at the Empire State Building. We have doors at 30 Rockefeller Center. Just did the Plaza Hotel last year. You know, we're doing the Flatiron Building this year.
Revolving doors, why?
Well, they're extremely energy efficient. They control the pressure of a building. You know, the HVAC savings and heating savings are one of the biggest selling points of a revolving door. Well, we've got a really talented workforce. We're some of the best ornamental fabricators in the country, a lot of bronze work. A lot of times people call us for historical projects when they're doing some of these really custom bronze type jobs. And that's one of our specialties.
And you're working on a special project. You mentioned the Flatiron Building in New York.
We have Steven Hirschberg here today. He is basically an owner's representative from the Brodsky organization and one of the top developers in New York. So he's coming down to check out his door and where we're at in the production of it.
What we are looking at is an original section of the revolving door canopy. So we are now here to rebuild it as it was originally constructed, and later on we'll be visiting the woodworking shop that is crafting the new floral ornaments.
I'm responsible for recreating this door, restoring what we can, and making it look as close to what was put in 100 years ago. There are about 100 pieces like this. But now these still need to be detailed. So we'll take these carving tools and go in there and sharpen everything up like these, which are very close to what the original was.
I think what makes IRD unique is that they are willing to tackle a boutique project like this. It fits well with their skill set.
So we've got machining of different hardware components, we're bending cladding for the doors, building substructures for the doors, and assembling doors and finishing doors. So a lot of what we're doing right now today has been prepping for some of the parts going out for anodizing and building some of the substructures. And then it goes to fabrication for assembly. Then it goes to quality control, where we erect the doors, and then from there it goes back to finishing and touch-up, and then to packaging after that.
And just as we started out, we finished with a completed door. Josh Kratochvil, what a journey here through International Revolving Door. The Brodsky organization has to be thrilled. No costs spared on this project.
No, this is a landmark door. It's one of the most beautiful and one of the most iconic buildings in the world that we've restored and brought back to its original beauty. And I think that everyone's going to be really pleased, and I think the people in New York are going to love it.
All right, a multi-month journey. Thanks for taking us through the plant here at International Revolving Door. With Josh Kratochvil, I'm Jeff Lyons, out and about.
Thanks.
All right, so that was the International Revolving Door Company out and about. I'll have some fresh ones here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, with Michael gone now, I'm not going to have as much time for my side hobbies here, projects, as we did. You'll be seeing more of Byron and Arden and me on times you didn't usually see us, mainly weekends. So anyhow, stay tuned. We will hopefully have another meteorologist on our team soon. In the meantime, we've got you covered. We're strong. We're drinking our vitamins every day. So thanks so much for watching the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9. I will see you on 14 News at 10 o'clock. Stay safe. I'm Jeff Lyons, out and about today at the International Revolving